function of this video is to discuss functionalism. You see, it doesn't matter what a video or audience is so much as what a video or audience does. This is called multiple instantiation. Like, what's butter? Butter can be many things. Cream, peanut, apple, cocoa. The point is, it's going to kill you. Basically, anything can be anything so long as it performs that particular job. I don't know, functionalism sounds kinda dumb. I really think we should do this. Alright, screw it. Let's talk about functionalism. Despite its fancy-sounding name, functionalism is pretty straightforward. If you think of your mental states as doing a job, then what people mean by such words as joy and pain is whatever roles those ideas play in their behaviors. So what? Looking at the problem this way lets us study and describe ideas that can't be directly seen under a microscope or on a computer screen. What do you mean by the word love? You mean that thing that makes you act like a stalker.
Darling, I have waited for you.
This is important because otherwise we might think that feelings such as love can only exist in humans. By showing that whatever acts and feels like love is love, we can study and describe it in all sorts of creatures. And possibly one day in machines as well.
I've been really trying.
One such doohickey might be described as a Turing machine after British mathematician Alan Matheson Turing. Way back in the 1930s, Turing hypothesized that his machine that manipulated symbols on a strip of tape could replicate the functions of any computer. This is a valuable tool for computer scientists and has important implications. If we can see a similarity between computers and brains, then we might have to admit that a Turing machine could imitate human behavior. According to some supporters of functionalism, if a computer can perform the functions of joy and pain, then it must be said to actually have joy and pain.
Like tears in rain.
Not everybody likes this idea, though. Some people think functionalism is too strict. They say that not all mental states can be described as playing a role. If you can't pinpoint what a thought or feeling is doing for the creature having it, then it can't be described in terms of its function. Can you give a consistent and encompassing definition of pain? How about Gemütlichkeit? This can lead to some pretty wild conclusions. For instance, there could be an exact duplicate of you, your twin, walking around doing all the things that you do, functioning exactly like you, but not having any thoughts or feelings at all. That would be pretty weird. That's why these opponents of functionalism tend to think of the mind as being more than just what it does.
Some kind of recording.
I am not a recording, Fräulein.
Others, however, say functionalism isn't strict enough. According to them, this view opens the door to mystical-sounding ideas like mind-body dualism. Dualism is the belief that the spirit or mind exists somewhere outside the body and they only interact in some strange, unknown way. That doesn't seem very scientific. Opponents of functionalism, often called behaviorists, want to give up fuzzy-sounding ideas like thoughts and feelings, and instead focus on the hard facts of people's observable actions. Indeed, functionalism performs the function of bridging the gap between dualism and behaviorism. The crazy thing is, all of us are having a hard time trying to understand it. That's what makes cognitive science such a pain in the ass. I mean, so much fun. And now this video has done its job, so you can finally move out of your parents' basement and get your own job. Or whatever weird shit you do when I'm not around. Now do you know what functionalism is? Yeah, like robots and stuff. But how can I be sure you really understand it? Why don't you explain it back to me? How do I know you'll understand my explanation? What? I'm the one that explained it to you. Yeah, you talked a lot, but that doesn't mean you understood what you were saying. Okay, functionalism is the idea that the identity of a mental state is determined by its causal relations to sensory stimulations, other mental states, and behavior. So you're saying if it quacks like a duck, right? Hey, think about this. Did you know zombies are real? I'm leaving. No, seriously, like on The Walking Dead. Shut up. They are not. I'm telling you. Then why haven't I seen them, like, walking around and stuff? Maybe you have. I think I'd notice. Ah, but would you, though? Yeah, they'd be like eating people. Maybe, or maybe not. What if zombies were real, but they didn't eat people? That's what zombies do. If they don't eat people, then they're not zombies. What about when they're full? Then what do zombies do? Do they stop being zombies when they're full? They don't get full. And when they do, they shit out all the guts and brains and, like, they can't digest anything. Still, they'd be all grossified and dead. You're missing the point of zombies. No, I'm pretty sure you are. Look, what's the difference between you and a zombie besides being dead and eating people? Seriously, what's the difference? I don't know, they're dumb and bump into things, like they can't think or whatever. But how do you know that you think? Or that anyone around you thinks? Because they don't bump into each other and act all stupid. So thinking means you don't bump into anything. Sure. Haven't you ever bumped into stuff? Yeah. So, were you a zombie then? Kinda, in a way, yeah. What do you mean? Like, if you're not thinking, or thinking too much, you run into things. I don't know. So, you can bump into things by thinking too much? Yeah, if you're like daydreaming. How do you know zombies aren't daydreaming? About what? They're dead. What about brains? I thought you were explaining something to me, so why are you asking all the questions? Focus. Functionalism. So, functionalism is about zombies. Yes. And this is what you do in college. Yes. Try this at home. Go around moaning and bumping into things and see if people think you're a zombie. Tried that. Didn't work. Just because you, or an exact twin of you, doesn't bite people, doesn't prove it's not a zombie. That's why Robert Kirk called these possible unthinking twins of ourselves zombies. You mean Robert Kirkman. No, that's The Walking Dead. But you said, I know what I said, so that's functionalism. We may all be zombies. No, that's the criticism of functionalism. You don't know what functionalism is, do you? It's everything common sense about consciousness. Except the soul. We don't talk about that. So, a zombie is what a zombie does, and I am what I do, and a desk is what a desk does. Like that? Exactly. So, like, if thinking is what I do, then thinking makes me what I am. I think so. Wait, no. Thinking is whatever thinking does, whether it's you that's doing it or not. Functionalism is dumb. Your face is dumb. What about brain? I'm Clark Kent.